Today we are diving into a topic that is near and dear to our hearts.
And that is not fully automating your Airbnb.
Now, before we get started, we want to make one thing clear. We are not against automation.
Not at all. We have tools and processes in place that do automate parts of our business and help streamline our operations.
What we do have a problem with is the misconception that when you're running a short-term rental business, you can have this sort of set it and forget it mentality and that your Airbnb will just run on autopilot.
We Airbnb this place every night while we stay at a cheaper Airbnb.
And we really believe that this autopilot mentality has led to a decline in guest experience over time.
And is probably a contributing factor to what people are calling the Airbnbust.
In this video, we'll be sharing how we automate our Airbnb business in a cautious and intentional way.
And we'll be sharing the systems that we have in place to ensure that our automation efforts don't turn into autopilot.
What's up, guys? I'm Steven.
And I'm Kylie, and we have been hosting on Airbnb together for over 5 years, from our first property, house hacking, to purchasing more investment properties of our own, to ultimately managing for clients.
Over time, we've learned the importance of finding the right balance between automation and personalization.
We believe that automation can streamline our hosting processes and save us time, but that it should never replace genuine hospitality.
One of the problems we've noticed is that there's many hosts who have bought into the mentality that their Airbnb business can be completely hands-off.
They may not have the time or the knowledge or the desire to put in the effort that it takes to make their property great and provide their guests with that consistently excellent experience.
But we believe that's really a recipe for disaster in the long run.
So how do we approach automation differently?
We use automation tools as a way to enhance our business and not as a way to replace our responsibilities as host.
We've implemented smart systems that save us time, help us gather information, and streamline our processes,
while still allowing us to provide a personalized and memorable experience for guests.
But this video is about unpopular opinions. So our first unpopular opinion about automation is that we do not fully automate our guest messaging. So there are not messages being sent to any guest that we did not hit send on.
Instead, we've set up templated messages for all the typical messages that we might need to send to a guest.
We can then go in and add relevant, personalized details for each guest without having to type up the whole message every time.
For example, we have several different versions of our thanks for booking message. There's the standard one that, says thanks for booking and then explains when guests are going to get the check-in instructions.
And then there are other versions for families or for different HOAs that require us to gather certain pieces of information from guests.
It's rare for us to just load one of these templates and hit send, because it's also rare for guests to make a booking without sharing some kind of personalized detail about their trip or asking a question that goes along with their booking.
If they ask a question, then we want to make sure that it gets answered in our response. And if they share some sort of personal detail, we want to make sure they feel heard by acknowledging what they're telling us.
Timeliness of guest responses is extremely important. So we know that by choosing to not automate our responses fully, that we're choosing to be by our phones all the time.
And that's not for everyone. We understand that, and we're thankful that we work together and that we can sort of share messaging duties. But we've touched on this in prior videos. We've done a time audit on how much time we actually spend on messaging, and it's really not as much as you would think, even with 40 properties.
Yeah, it takes a couple seconds to tweak one of those templates, hit the send button, and you're done.
So really the commitment is availability, being by your phone, not necessarily all the time that it's going to spend on messaging.
Oh my God, you have 38,000 unread email?
Yeah, so take advantage of the templates. Airbnb allows you to set these up on their platform, and that's historically how we've used these templates to message guests.
But ever since we've integrated Uplisting as our property management software, we've been using their tools, which allows for a lot of customization for templates as well.
Yeah, the templates help us provide timely and consistent guest messages, and it doesn't take hours to type out the same message over and over again.
And going back to Uplisting, the other automation tool that we use is a property management software.
I wouldn't say Uplisting is an unpopular opinion, or property management softwares aren't an unpopular opinion. Uplisting specifically, though, isn't something we've seen many people go into detail on YouTube. And so once we feel like we have a really great feel for the platform, we'll be doing an in-depth video on that.
So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. This video isn't sponsored by Uplisting, but we did include a discount code, which you can see in the video description if you'd like to check it out for yourself.
Uplisting allows us to advertise our portfolio of properties across pretty much all the booking platforms, while being able to sync calendars across those platforms and set pricing quickly.
We love that we can set our rate and then Uplisting automatically adjusts that rate depending on the booking platform and a rule set that we've established. So for example, we charge a little bit higher rates on Vrbo versus Airbnb because the commissions are a little bit higher on Vrbo.
But how we arrive at that pricing is definitely an unpopular opinion.
The truth is that we haven't found a pricing software that we feel like we can trust 100%.
So while we love Price Labs and the information it gives, and we have a subscription to their tool, it's not something that we are fully trusting of giving it control to price our listings.
Instead, we view Price Labs as an additional data source in a big pool of data sources that we pull from to set our pricing strategy. This pool also includes historical performance from our portfolio, a competitor set that we have saved on Airbnb, and then just our local knowledge of booking trends and other things going on in the area.
So we do think Price Labs is a great tool, but we don't use it in the same way a lot of people use it, by fully automating their price setting.
Remember, automation, not autopilot. So even if you fully integrate Price Labs or Wheelhouse or some other pricing automation tool, make sure you're checking it regularly.
The check it mentality kind of continues through all the automation tools that we use. And the last one that we're going to talk about today is our scheduling tool for cleanings and inspections.
We've used Breezeway for a long time, but we'll soon be switching over to Turno because of their direct integration with Uplisting.
And scheduling and tasking software has become an integral part of our business. But we still have to go into the tool at least once a week, and we just double check everything is synced correctly and everything is scheduled like we expect it to be.
Usually if something didn't get scheduled, it's because it was a direct booking. The way that Breezeway imports our calendar, if it's a direct booking, it shows up as a hold instead of a guest, and it doesn't auto-schedule those cleanings or inspections.
And if you watched our marketing video earlier this year, you know we're really trying to increase those direct bookings, so not having one of those get scheduled would be really bad.
Who's keeping calendar?
I am keeping calendar.
So all of these systems help us stay organized and streamlined, but also allow us flexibility for personalization, which is a key element in hospitality.
We definitely believe that automation has a place in anyone's short-term rental business, but it isn't a replacement for genuine hospitality and guest care.
By finding that right balance between automation and personalization, we've been able to create a hosting business that is efficient, profitable, and most importantly, focuses on the guest experience.
Tell us about your automation strategies in the comments below, what's worked for you and what hasn't.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.